Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. I'm back at the beach enjoying life, a little bit of cooler weather. Coming back today with part 2 of Goliad, Texas. We're going to visit the historic sites today and the downtown area. Buzz Aldrin, roll my intro number 2. We're going to go take a look at the memorial on the grave of Colonel Fanning and his troops. Now, what you have to remember about this area, guys, there were many battles here, many different wars, many different participants. This particular monument is a memorial to Colonel J.W. Fanning and his men. This is in the First War of Independence, Texas and Mexico. That is the bloody arm. That is the first independence flag of Texas, 1835. For those of you into vexillology, which is Latin for banner, vexillol, and it's the study of flags. But Colonel Fanning and his men were greatly outnumbered by Mexican superior forces. They were taken as prisoners. A week later, Fanning and 400 of his men were executed. The wounded were executed in the compound over there where they lay. The ones that could walk were marched outside and massacred. Massacred on Palm Sunday, March 27th, 1836. It's an incredible area. There's a little stone put there by the Daughters of the Republic of Texas. They work on preserving history and are very influential in this area. This is a statue of the Angel of Goliad, Francisca Alves. Throughout the area, she pleaded with Mexican forces whenever they were captured. Texans pleaded for their humane treatment. She relayed messages between the prisoners and their families. She would sneak in food, help tend to wounds. Here at La Bhia, in Agua Dulce, Victoria, Copano, just an amazing human being. She even managed to help some people escaped and just begged and pleaded for fair, humane treatment of the prisoners. Okay, guys, right next to the Fanning Memorial and behind La Bhia, also right by the Angel of Goliad statue, is La Bhia Cemetery. It has served the Spanish-speaking community of the area since the 1830s and before that. There's a lot of unmarked graves right here. It's also an active burial site, so it's still in use. It's well maintained. It's in proximity to the mission that's just on the other side of the hill. And yeah, it's got a lot of reverence. It's a beautiful area. So this is Zaragoza Plaza. It is right outside of the fortress of La Bhia, right by the Fanning Monument. Now, what is unique about this, like I said, this area is so rich in history. Ignacio Zaragoza was born in Goliad. His father was a soldier in the Mexican army. They had a small home just outside of La Bhia, the fortress. And that's how the Spanish would establish colonies. They would build a mission fortress combination where people could go for safe shelter. And the one here in Goliad at the time, Ignacio was born in 1829. It was a mixture of Mexican, European, African, and Native Americans who all lived in this community. So his father was in the Mexican army, transferred a lot. There's La Bhia right behind us. Transferred a lot where, he's in the army, wherever they need you, that's where you go, all through Texas. Wound up down in Mexico. His son studied. This is their homestead, the house he was born in. Grew up in the military, wanted to become a soldier, did, and rose to the rank of general. In the Battle of Pueblo, Mexico, the Mexican army against the French army, Ignacio Zaragoza led Mexican troops to a victory over the French army. That's a big deal. At that time, in the 1850s, the Battle of Pueblo was May 5th, 1862. For the Mexican army to defeat a French army with superior weapons and superior numbers, that was a big deal. Mexicans took a lot of pride in that, and it gave them that glimmer of hope that they could drive the French out of the area, and that's what they eventually did. But this battle, the Battle of Pueblo, Mexico, May 5th, 1862, May 5th, guys, Cinco de Mayo. That's why Cinco de Mayo is such a big deal throughout Mexico and really through Texas. And I know it's kind of spread to the rest of the country, but it's not the Mexican Independence Day. It's the celebration of this one particular battle. And it's a pretty easy day to remember, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 1862. That statue that we looked at, that was actually donated to Goliad from the people of Pueblo, Mexico in 1980, I believe. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I read a lot of facts and I don't keep them straight. But this is a little mock-up of the Battle of Pueblo and shows you the troop movements. And he actually was born in this home, and they have a nice display here. There's so many placards, and they don't really transfer to video, unless I wanted to do an 1.5-hour video of me reading placards. You should, if this interests you, I highly recommend coming here. This is just an awesome little 3-room museum. There's no one in here. This is actually part of the Goliad State Park. And it's very well maintained, and you can just go through this particular museum at your own pace. And that's no wonder the French lost. Look at those uniforms. And I love the fact that the Mexican army had sandals. They were, you know what, we'll go to war, but I'm going to need to keep the sandals. Come here if you get a chance, guys. It's really cool. I hear some bells outside. Just got here at noon, guys. La Bhia. Right on the side of the fort, it looks like there's an old tourist area. Maybe a campground. And they had a few little tourist shops set up. I was probably last here 6 or 7 years ago, and I know they were closed then. It looks like they're long closed, but this one's for sale, and it looks well maintained. I don't know. This was obviously some type of tourist store, but it doesn't look like it's been sitting there forever. The grass is cut. And I don't know what's back there, if that's like a RV park or there's no signage, but I am kind of interested in what's right around here. And this is directly across the road from La Bahia. You could throw a rock underhand and hit a wall if you so desired. There's a little amphitheater, guys. You could rent that out for $50 a day. Yeah, you talk about something. It holds 300 people, or should I say seating for 300 people. That's kind of neat. We are at Fort of Our Lady of Laredo on the bay. All the other historic sites that we have seen are within 100 yards of this fort. The Spanish would build fort and churches together to establish a community. This particular fort has been occupied by 9 different countries, 9 different flags. That placard right there, I'm gonna film it in a second. I highly recommend you film it and take a minute to read it. It's amazing the amount of trouble that has hit this area. It's a highly sought after property. In Spanish, and I'm apologizing for my Spanish now. Presidio de Nostra Señorita de Laredo de la Baja. And all my Spanish comes from watching Luchadors on Channel 29 on Saturday afternoon. So I really must apologize. It was moved here to protect the mission. That's a quarter mile away. There's a Spanish mission. Just trouble here. Wars, battles, Texas independence twice. It's a turbulent area. This is one of the most historic Spanish fortresses in any of the Americas. When they did a restoration here, words are hard, 1963 to 1967, they discovered evidence and artifacts of 9 different occupancies. That's how they know 9 different countries, if you will, have occupied this fort. There's a nice little sniper tower there. They got me, folks. No, I'm just kidding. I got to throw in a little humor every once in a while, guys. But you can see this wall has gun turrets cut out in it, cannon turrets. It's a combination of the church there. They still have services there. And it's pretty amazing that that bell tower works, sounds on the hour, and it's an amazing tour. We can't do the tour today. They are booked to capacity due to COVID. I have a reservation coming up because I do want to go in that fort. There's a museum there, small gift shop. I'm really curious as to what's in there. Check out the thickness of those walls. Very well maintained and restored. Beautiful property. I'm really looking forward to getting in there. And, of course, a commanding view of the valley right next to the San Antonio River. While we're out here, guys, I wanted to go to the official town of Goliad itself. It's nearby. It's got a great history, established in 1749. Goliad is the county seat of Goliad County. Population of a little bit over 1,900 people. Goliad's called the birthplace of Texas ranching. There's a beautiful courthouse hidden among the trees there. This courthouse, it's the 4th one the town has had. This one was built in 1894. It has been devastated several times by storms and tornadoes, hurricanes, and they have built it to its original look from 1894. Goliad sits right on the San Antonio River. Like the Spanish were here in the mid-1700s. There's a large Native American presence in the area. When the 1908, they had a tornado here. It was the most devastating tornado in Texas history. 114 dead, 225 injured. Can you imagine that in a little community like this? That courthouse was actually used as a morgue, funeral home, and hospital. That's how torn up this area was. I really like this. I mean, the architecture of this thing is absolutely beautiful. And what I really like is I've gotten around Texas sometimes, these town squares, there's a lot of empty buildings, and there could be a couple here, but they're all in just beautiful shape. Like some towns like LaGrange, like the town square was still vital and used, and every storefront had a business in it, and some we go to, it's just a ghost town, So it is nice to see that. Hey, Love Shack, you looking good, sweetheart? You enjoying this trip, baby? Yeah, she's having it. It's Texas, folks, so there's trees in the middle of the road. We're used to seeing those around here. Yeah, I really like Goliad, folks. I'm glad CT suggested I go here. I mean, and I really like how each building is like a little bit different. It still has like that Texas look, but it's not just everything looking the same, So there are some unique stores here. That's the library, and I really like they put the library in one of these historic buildings, and it's right in the town square. You could get a book and go sit in the little park right here. I really like it. There's a restaurant back there, a Mexican restaurant with indoor-outdoor seating. Yeah, Goliad's really cool. To have all this here in a town of only 1,900 people, the highway comes through. They have the historic aspect, so I highly recommend it, guys. Look at that beautiful sky. Well, guys, that was a fun day. Nice little road trip. I made it back to Rockport in time to watch the sunset. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching, everyone.